welcome back, everybody, to the Detour podcast, and good freaking morning to you all. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day so far and will continue to have a wonderful day. My week hasn't really been too interesting. I just got back from Oregon. When you're seeing this, I'll be back from Oregon. I'm actually leaving tomorrow, but I'll be in Oregon the past weekend. So that'll be fun. Ocean, I don't know, hanging out with Liz's family for a little bit. Other than that, nothing really too interesting that's happened in my week other than the game Tamagotchi Life. I know you've all heard of it because it's a huge thing going on right now. So I decided to get the demo just to see how it was. And I may have spent an hour creating one character, Choso from Jujutsu Kaisen. Pretty dope though. So I created it and I decided I'm going to get the game because it's honestly kind of fun. It really is like Animal Crossing with Miis. I've seen a lot of people do like such in-depth characters because they also have like the little pins they can draw with. I was drawing with my finger and the joystick, and I'm not very artistic in that sense. I think I did a pretty good job, but yeah, I don't know. I've seen people do a lot of not necessarily just anime, but like every kind of cartoon character you could think of that they've done, or they've done people, and I don't know. It's really funny and it's interesting, and you can make them sound very funny. And so I started off by creating me, and then Choso, and that's really it. Just living on a little island. But I don't know. I thought it was kind of like, I don't know, when seeing it, it's like, oh, maybe it's just a fad that'll kind of die out. The game's not that fun. I'm wrong. Sorry, I didn't mean to blow in the mic. I am wrong, okay? It's actually really fun. So if you guys have $60 to blow and you have a Nintendo Switch already, I would recommend to get it. It's quite a bit of fun. But yeah, other than that in Oregon, there's nothing really fun that has gone on in the last week. I don't know. That's really it. Looking forward to warmer weather. Looking forward to hiking, camping. I did actually run. It was like a 9:20 pace for almost 6 miles on Tuesday. I was doing tempo, so I'm pretty sure I've explained this in a previous episode, but it's you start off with a 10-minute warm-up for a certain pace, and then you do 3 sets where you'll run for like, in my case, it was 9 minutes at like an 8:40, 8:30 pace. And then I run for 3 minutes at 12, which is like a recovery run. And then I do that again, and then I end off with another 10-minute recovery, which in my case was like a 10:30 pace. But I don't know. I felt like I was doing really good. My lungs are good. My average heart rate was like 163 the entire time, which I thought was crazy because I felt like I was kind of breathing heavy, but I guess my heart's not working as hard. But yeah, my body, for some reason, sometimes like it'll be my feet, my calves. This time it was this knee. It was giving me a little bit of trouble. But everything else, mentally, cardiovascularly, I don't know, I felt great. So that really is all that happened. Let's jump right into this week's juicy topic. I decided, what did I decide? I have a very poor memory, especially recently. Let me see. I read it. Goodness gracious. I wrote it down here somewhere. Let's see. This thing is just giving me a hard time. Okay, here it is. And now that I read it, I remember. So I actually thought about this. And for me personally, I'm trying to take a step back from the use of, your phone and everything like that. Obviously, I want to make content and create that stuff, and you're going to need your phone for it. But I feel like there's a lot that we don't necessarily need to use our phone for. For instance, we don't always need to be on social media, or maybe we could wane away from music platforms like Spotify and Apple Music. Not like I have a problem with it, but I feel like I'm more present when I just can pop a CD into my car, which I've been listening to a lot of CDs recently, but throw one into my car, because then that's one less temptation to look at my phone. Oop, I choose a song. Well, now I'm scrolling through social media and I'm getting distracted. But if I never do that, then I personally don't have that problem. Another thing I feel like we all need to kind of learn. I mean, I'm going to speak for myself, but I know you motherfuckers are out there, and you know you do the exact same thing, but you have to use Google Maps for everything, or Apple Maps. Like, you can't figure out where the crap you're going using your noggin. And I am so spatially unaware. I'm directionally challenged when it comes to that. Especially when the sun goes down, I'm lost. So I kind of wanted to talk about that. Could we survive? I guess it says without the internet. I'm going to say without the internet / smart devices, because I feel like they kind of go hand in hand. Kind of to start it off, man, I genuinely think most of us would probably like have a panic attack if the internet was useless. Like, we didn't have the internet anymore. And I really do think it'd render this, like our smartphones, useless as well, because if we didn't have internet, well, we can't play any of the games that people have on their phones. We can't use social media, again, Google Maps, crap like that. And I feel like genuinely everybody would lose their mind, go crazy. I don't know, dude. People go nuts as it is already, especially kids growing up nowadays. When parents tell them to get off their phone, it's like they go crazy, ballistic. It's almost like they're feral over having to give up their stupid iPad. So I think we should just dive right into that. I got some bullet points down. I feel like kind of really resonate with how I feel about it, and what I feel like we would all kind of be affected by, in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Navigation. Let's go right back to that juicy little bit of, struggle. I don't think anybody, again, unless you grew up with no Google Maps and you had to figure that crap out yourself, or you're really, really good with directions, I feel like a lot of us would struggle to get anywhere. Nobody would know how to get to a restaurant, or some people don't even know what direction it would be without it. So if you said go north, they're like, where the freak is north? And sometimes I have to look at the sun in the sky to be like, all right, if it's setting because it's 4 o'clock in the morning, then that's the direction. But I feel like some people don't even know that, and it's a struggle. And I feel like people can't read paper maps to help get them places that, Google Maps essentially kind of took over for. I feel like we would all get lost without having GPS. And it's kind of funny though too, because we've all become, again, so self-reliant that I guarantee most people wouldn't even go out because of the struggle of having to go and try to figure out where the freak they're going. It's almost like if the GPS route, doesn't work one time, people are like, you know what? I'll never leave my house again. I'd rather not try to figure out where the crap I'm going than to, go out there and maybe make a mistake, take an extra 30 minutes to get to where you want to go eat, or, hang out with friends or something like that. But I don't know. It's kind of funny. I've wanted to do that. I've mentioned how I kind of want to do either paper maps, or we will look up the address of where we want to go in advance, write it down, and we can't use our phones for the entire time. So we either have to drive there, or because I'm in Utah, we have the track station, UTA. So, pop on the tracks and ride down and kind of just try and figure out where you're going from there. And I think it'd be kind of a fun challenge again, because from when I could drive and when I could kind of go out, we had not as advanced as Google Maps has been. I'm not even that old, but I had GPS, I had stuff like that to kind of help me figure out where I'm going. So it'd be kind of interesting to see how my parents did it when they were younger and stuff like that, because I really do feel like that's a skill that we all probably need to pick back up and sorry, just making sure I lock my front door. Probably need to pick back up and have it, because who knows when it could come in handy. The whole thing with smartphones, I think nobody truly memorizes people's numbers like they used to. So if our phones essentially became obsolete and we couldn't use them anymore like we do, and let's say we had to go back to just the good old button phone, right? Or even, let's say, landlines where you have to type all that jazz in. I feel like nobody would know what the fuck they're doing, and we'd all be losing our minds of like, I don't know my dad's phone number, I don't know my mom's. Luckily I do know. I think those two and Liz are the only people I actually know phone number by heart, but everyone else I guess I'm never contacting you again because I don't even know your phone number. So luckily I do know where people live, but yeah, I couldn't contact anybody. I don't remember that crap. I don't know, it just feels like if you lose your phone or it becomes completely useless, like at that point we just don't even have friends or family anymore. I don't know, it's kind of crazy how so dependent we become on certain things. Point number 3 of why I definitely think we're screwed, right? Attention spans are fried. Oh my gosh, dude. Social media is disgusting. I mean, I love it, but at the same time, it's got its cons, because nobody can sit in silence. Everybody hates being in their own head. Instant gratification has become such a big thing, because you'll watch these reels or the shorts or, whatever it is, the TikToks, and you're basically scrolling through, and it's like every 8 seconds you need something new and something new and something new. So you can't ever just sit there and relax, read a book, or enjoy the way the sunshine is. And during the summer, like, you need constant gratification. And it kind of fried like our younger generation, because I didn't grow up with social media. I didn't grow up with the smartphone. I didn't grow up with all that stuff. The most I got was like computer time. But yeah, I didn't really grow up with any of that until I was like in my teens, and then I had access to all that stuff. But I'm grateful that I didn't grow up on that, because I really do feel like my life would have been harder than it already is because of social media. But like, kids who grew up with that, have known it their entire lives, are so used to that it's going to be harder to try and like rewire their brain and train them to get, out of that need for instant gratification. It's disgusting. We consume content like Victorian children consumed cigarettes. Let me say that again for the people in the back. We consume content like Victorian children consume cigarettes. Let's Google, how many cigarettes do Victorian children consume? How many cigarettes did Vic... Let's see. How many cigarettes did Victorian children smoke? There's no specific number. Let's see. But they were smoking from as young as 5 years old. Working children, newsboys, boot blacks, or factory workers, hopefully boot blacks isn't a bad thing, would smoke with all apparent satisfaction of a veteran smoker to stay warm and mimic adults. So, just because there's not an average number doesn't mean they didn't do it. So if they're doing it on the daily, that's kind of what kids now are doing, consuming social media on the daily. So who knows, man? And it opens up to a whole bunch of just terrible things. Young kids know too much about the news, porn, all that just horrendous, crappy crap. But then they run into great things on the internet, like me. You guys stumble upon this video and it actually benefits your life a little bit. At least I like to think so. This one, I don't necessarily know how much I agree with it. But I think we rely too much on demand, that it kind of takes the fun out of waiting for a release and going to the store and getting it. Or like movies, going to the theater to watch it for the first time rather than I'm just going to rent it and stay at home. Music does kind of control our emotions, and I feel like because we have every single song ever created essentially at the touch of our fingertips, like, I don't know, it's kind of rough because then kids get depressed or blah 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 blah. I mean, I was one of those kids, but I really do kind of miss the fun of seeing, when a movie's going to come out and you have to go see it in the theater for the first time to experience it, and then you have to wait months until you can actually purchase the movie. Because that's what I used to do with all my favorite movies, is I'd buy them on Blu-ray because that's the best DVD that we have, and I just buy all my favorite movies on Blu-ray when they're available. But now it's like you could just buy them digitally, and I'm like, I'd rather have a hard copy, because again, if all this goes down, I'd rather have that to be able to watch movies whenever I want to if I can't access the internet. Something that kind of ties in with that, I would say online shopping. I think online shopping has kind of ruined us, because you can just get anything in a couple of days rather than going out, walking to the store, getting what you need. Like, obviously, Amazon has been around for such a long time. You could buy stuff on eBay, KSL, Craigslist, whatever. But I think every single brand doing a lot more of everything's online. It just makes us so lazy, because then we just sit around and, can order clothes or food. Food, you lazy fucks. Pardon my language, but not actually, because I don't like... you're paying, it feels like you're paying double the price for like a chicken sandwich from Chick-fil-A, plus a delivery fee, plus a tip, plus you have to wait like 40 minutes to even get your food. But for instance, if you live like 10 minutes away, you go and you pay a quarter of the price, and you even took the same amount of time that it would have taken for them to even deliver you your food. So I think y'all need to just save y'all's money and stop ordering food, or maybe stop buying as much online if you could go into the store. Kind of give yourself an excuse to get out there, go to the store, walk around, stretch those little legs. I don't know, man. Let's see. What is next that I want to talk about? There's just so many good points of why we'd be so screwed. I'm not saying it's a bad thing to not have internet or smartphones. I think it's very beneficial if we use it correctly, but I think we also need to train ourselves to be independent from all of that. And we're not. We're treacherous. We're atrocious with it. Nobody would know anything, because we just Google everything whenever we want. Again, it's at our fingertips, ladies and gentlemen. I feel like having to get like the dictionary or a book or actually learn about something where you can't just Google the answer for everything would help us actually retain the information, a little bit better. Because the internet convinces us we're so smart because we know how to search. But in reality, we only know tidbits of fun facts, but you don't know in-depthly about things, or you can't explain something to somebody that you've read because you don't know. You just read the baseline of what that fact is. It's kind of hard. So we're actually super dumb unless you went to school. I didn't. I dropped out. We're super dumb. And I'm willing to admit that I'm super dumb. Social media changes our personality 100%. I think social media ruins the way people perceive everyone else. You got the most gorgeous, disgustingly perfect people, and everyone strives to look like them. Just be yourself, dude. I have nothing wrong with being myself. The only thing I want to change is, the amount of muscle I have, because I go from a little thick to a little skinny. I don't know. I just want to have good muscle, be fit. I have no desire to whatever. I got a little tooth gap. I think it's kind of cute and endearing, but I have no desire to change that, because why would I want to look just like everybody else when that's what makes me kind of unique, right? I'm I'd say I'm genuinely happy with the way I look and the way I am. Sometimes I have a hard time with that because everyone falls into the comparison. But I would say that, like, I don't have any desire to change how I am. Sometimes it's like, wow, I wish, I felt as attractive as this person is, right? But in reality, it's like, again, it's all how I perceive myself, because other people, will perceive me as ugly, will perceive me as attractive, really don't care. And as long as I think I look good, screw y'all. Unless you think I look good too. Love y'all. So I think we just rely too much on that, and it kind of forms our brains to think like shaming based off of certain aspects is okay, when in reality it's not. It's never okay to be a dick to somebody just because they're not perfect in the eyes of society or the eyes of social media. I think it's stupid. So love yourself, look in the mirror, notice every feature about yourself and say, hey, I love you, and I love every feature that you have, because God created us all individually. We're all unique. Nobody's going to look the same. Yeah, we may look somewhat like somebody else and have a doppelganger, but like, you are perfect the way you are. There's no need to change. Obviously, if you're not happy with your body, go ahead and work out. Go ahead and lose that weight. Or if you're not happy with hairstyle, go ahead and dye your hair, do something. But in reality of like Botox or plastic surgery or anything like that, like, there's no need to change that. Like, you are beautiful, you're attractive, you're handsome, you're sexy. Like, chill out, everybody. There's no need to try and be like somebody else when the best person you could be is you. I know I'm a philosopher up in this bitch, okay? But I need to do better at heeding to my own words than to just spouting them out, because yeah, I have low days just like everybody else. Do you think relationships would survive with no texting, Snapchatting, dating apps, and you actually would have to call people? No, nobody knows how to talk to anybody nowadays. And I'm going to be honest, sometimes I don't either. I'd rather just stay in and avoid interactions, because I don't want to have to go through that whole experience of talking to somebody and ugh. But I feel like that's something that we all need to kind of get going, get down. So I think we all just need to face-to-face a bit more. I feel like dating apps are okay, but we need to do something where we all go out and hang out at a spot, go to the mall, I don't know, meet people and actually talk to somebody. Hey, you're kind of cute. Could I get your number? Oh, sick. Now I'm going on a date. Now I'm getting married. This is wild, dude. Life's crazy. I think we all need to do that. So reflective. Yes, the internet's good. Yes, smartphones are good. But sometimes too much of a good thing is a bad thing. And I think in this case, that's how it is if you don't know self-control. So just know, because you can Google something doesn't make you smart. Just because someone seems perfect doesn't mean they're not photoshopping it, and you're not perfect the way you are, right? I think we need to kind of touch back to our roots, be more personal with each other, talk to each other more, learn directions, kind of be out of our phone rather than nose in like this. Be out, talk to people, enjoy the fact that we can communicate, you can walk around, interact, and have that freedom. So that's really all I got to say this week. Let's see how much time I have left. I got about 3 minutes. So this is going to be a little bit of a shorter episode. The camera's about to die. But I really do think we all need to kind of take a step back and reevaluate what we prioritize in life. Obviously, you can be on social media, but not as much as you are. So yeah, that's really it. There's no detour, no hot take, other than, the people who look too perfect are actually really ugly, in my opinion, because it just seems just too much. But thank you guys so much for tuning in for this week. If you're watching on YouTube, please go ahead, like, subscribe, hit that bell. I love to see all the interaction. Yes, I will try to get either Tanner or Gavin to get a wedgie on the future episodes, and I will also get one with them as well. If you're listening on Spotify, follow and rate, because the more we rate, the more people know that we are the best, okay? That you guys are the best. So that's really all I had this week. Next week I will hopefully have a longer episode. I do want to try and get back to an hour, but it is kind of hard talking with myself. But that's really it. I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of their Monday and the rest of their week. Love you guys so much. Peace out.